you people are not Sephardim at all. 95% of you are Khazars and have your ancestors never set foot in Palestine. You don't have a single drop of Shemitic blood in your veins. And they want to argue with me, so I just simply direct them to the internet. Just type in the word Khazar, Khazar, on your browser, and you will get mounds of information about who the Khazars are. You know, and a lot of Jews don't even know these things because their rabbis have brainwashed them to the extent that they actually believe that they're God's chosen people, Israel, when we know they're not. Okay, so this brainwashing is worldwide.
A conspiracy, huh?
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, when somebody pretends to be somebody else, it's called identity theft.
And so I imagine a lot of people would be interested in why would they want to do this?
Oh, it goes back a long way. Yeah.
In the meantime, we do have a question. Okay. And I think somebody was asking the question about confirming the statement of Revelation 28:13. Well, it should be Revelation 18:13. I don't know if we got it mistyped on there. And guys, this says, and I've got it right here, it says in that verse,
I'll turn there too.
And the light of the candle shall shine no more in all the end. The voice of the bridegroom and the bride shall be heard no more at all. For thy merchants were in the great men of the earth. For by thy sorceries were all the nations deceived. Now, sorceries, when you look it up, it's a pharmakia.
It's pharmakia.
By the way, that's Strong's Concordance number G5331, which is from 5332, meaning medication, pharmacy, by extension of magic, literal, figurative, sorcery, and witchcraft.
That's right.
There you go. That's the translation help there from a Strong's translated concordance or whatever they call that.
Yes, yeah, and we see that again. It's talking about the world empire of merchants, which will be destroyed at the judgment day, and will never be heard from again, as that verse you quoted. Once it's destroyed at the judgment day, it's over for the eighth beast, And so, these I've pretty much for the last 30 years. So that's how long I've been in the identity movement. Have been doing these word studies, scriptural word studies, which demonstrate there's always multiple levels of meaning to all these words, and they're usually very poorly translated. And when you are confronted with modern Judeo-Christianity or just plain old Christianity, very, very few pastors have ever done the word studies to investigate what these words really mean, how these words were used by the original authors, such as Paul and John and Mark and Luke, etc., or Daniel and Jeremiah, etc., They simply rely on the translations without getting into the deeper meanings of these words, and the deeper meanings of these words are always very revelatory. Such as pharmakia, because we are indeed living in a doped up society, right? Aren't we a doped up society?
Absolutely worse and worse. And now we're getting the next generation of drugs, which is trying to now manipulate the DNA.
Yes. So sorceries does not capture the meaning of pharmakia. You just went through some of the definitions, and what we're seeing in the world today is the full gamut of a drugged up, doped up society. And it's not just medical drugs. We have media. We have movies. We have games. It's like there's a lack of dealing with reality. Everybody's trying to escape from reality, Escape from
wouldn't that be just basically psyops, MK Ultra, psycho warfare?
Absolutely.
In order to try and mesmerize and dull the senses and so forth.
So it's not just pharmakia, it's the various methods by which the eighth beast, and that's Mystery Babylon, when I refer to the eighth beast, I'm talking this world empire of merchants, which is controlled by the Rothschild banking family and their far-flung operations, which includes the United Nations Organization, the New World Order, globalism. All these major banks, all the so-called national banks of every country are controlled by the Rothschilds through the World Bank, the Bank of International Settlements, the International Monetary Fund, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay?
You know, Eli, I checked out where these, everybody talks about, but I checked out where they're located.
Okay.
If you go to Washington, D.C., and you're looking right straight at the White House from the front,
yeah.
And I've been in the White House. But if you're looking at it right from the front, you'll look to the left. There's a building, it's a ways over, called the Administration Building. That's where all these guys that actually have offices like Obama have offices.
Mm-hmm.
And, Obama doesn't have his back to a window sitting on the first floor of the White House. I'll just tell you that right now.
Okay.
That's crazy. I mean, no president ever has. That's just a fake window and a fake location.
Okay.
Now,
all right.
Right around the corner from the Administration Building is the State Department, of which the Mideast is the most luscious floors. Right. And they look like opulent lawyer offices, and the other state departments don't have that. Mm-hmm. Then you go to around the corner and you'll have the Federal Reserve, and then and just down the street a little bit more is the IMF. So all these pots of thieves are all located in the same. I mean, they are probably all, you don't ever see anybody walking from building to building because they're all hooked together underground.
Right. Right.
So they're all running around underground between each other talking. So
yeah,
it's a mess. Go ahead.
Well, that's Mystery Babylon. Because let me just explain a little bit why the Bible refers to this as Mystery Babylon. And I think one economist said that fewer than 1 in 100,000 people understands how the economy really works. Okay. And that's an absolute fact. Very, very few people understand that the Federal Reserve and all these other international banks simply create money out of nothing. Okay? They simply create it out of nothing and spend it into circulation for whatever their pet projects of the day happen to be. Okay? And so, but everybody believes that banks only lend out depositors money. So in other words, what you're taught in school and what the consumer believes to be the case is that the bank simply lends out money that other people have deposited there. Okay? And that's not true at all. The deposits in the world don't even amount to a fraction, probably not even 1% of the amount of money that's actually loaned into circulation. That money is simply created out of nothing. It's fictitious money. Okay? It's just like if you had a printing press going in your basement, and that's the money that you loaned out to your neighborhood borrowers. That's how the international bankers really operate. Okay? Mm-hmm. They create this illusion that they only lend out depositors money. Okay? That's to fool everybody. Okay? But the reality is it's called a fractional reserve banking system. And they simply do not require any depositors' funds at all. That's just another illusion, okay, just like the Jews pretending to be Israel. It's all fake. We're living in a world that's nothing but illusion, okay? So that's why it's called Mystery Babylon, because people are totally fooled. They think that they're actually borrowing other depositors' money when, in fact, they're borrowing fictitious money, fiat money created out of nothing. And we have to understand, too, that every society in history that has resorted to fiat money, that is printing money and spending it to pay their debts, okay? Any society that has gone down that road has eventually collapsed. Okay?
Right.
The French Revolution is a perfect example of that. Weimar Germany is another example of that. And we have the same thing happening in Zimbabwe today. They're spending, whatever their currency is called. They have like a million mark notes right now. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Okay.
The Weimar Republic, huh?
Yeah, right. And so this is what's going to happen to the U.S. dollar. And they're trying to figure out a way to, because this world financial crisis that we're experiencing right now